We'll be learning major, minor, dominant 7 chords. The major chord, to play the major chord, firstly you need to know the major scale, and you can find major chord easily from major scale. C major scale was, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are all scale degrees. To play major chord, you need 1, 3, 5. If you play all 3 notes together, that's gonna be major chord. So let's go on to D major. D major has 2 sharps, right? Okay, to play D major chord, you need to find 5-finger scale, which is pentascale of D major, and 1, 3, 5. And E major, whole step, half step, whole step. That's how you find 5-finger scale easily, and play 1, 3, 5, and whole, half whole, 1, 3, 5, G major, and 1, 3, 5. A major and B major, whole step, half step, and whole step. That B major has 2 sharps here, and we'll get 2. Okay. Now I'm gonna explain about dominant 7th chord a little bit. There are other 7th chords like major 7th or minor 7th, diminished 7th, but now I'm just gonna explain about dominant 7th chord. Okay, to play the dominant 7th, you need same C dominant 7, same C major chord, plus you're gonna have one more note, which is third higher from. So these all chord tones are in thirds. So you stack one more thirds on the top. That's gonna be the 7th chord. But this is not the dominant 7 chord. You need to make that the top 7th note half step lower, like this. So this is how dominant 7 chord sounds. If you just play that one in C major chord, that's gonna be C major 7th chord. Okay, you need to go half step down to make a dominant 7. Actually, this B flat is whole step down from the root note C. Okay, let's make a G dominant 7. Start with G major chord, 3rd, and G major chord plus 3rd is not the same as C major, because they're just half. Okay, 1, 2, 3 half steps only from 5th to 7th, but C major 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps. So G major, it's easier to find the minor 7, the interval of minor 7 here is go to the root, which is same as the 1st note here, and go whole step down. Always that's gonna be the minor 7 from G to F. Okay, one more. So D dominant 7, first 3 notes, and find D, go whole step down. That's gonna be dominant 7. Okay. All right. What about minor chord? Minor chord is same as major chord. Same way to find the chord. So first 5 notes in the minor scale and play 1, 3, 5. Okay. So as we learned, minor has whole step and then half step and a whole. Okay. Major, whole step, half step, whole step. Minor, whole step, half step, whole step. Okay, so find these 5 finger scale and then you play 1, 3, 5. Or another way to find the minor chords is play major chord. It's easier to find because we know major chord better. And we step down, half step down from the middle note, step down from E to E flat. That's gonna be minor. So the difference between major and minor chord is the middle note, the third. Major chord, it's major third in interval and minor third. So if I want to find F minor chord, then you can find F major chord first and just go half step down for the middle note. That's gonna be F minor. Okay. And next, I'm gonna explain about the inversion. Inversion is changing the position of the chords. Okay, so the major chord is composed with C, which is scale degree 1, 3, 5. Okay, we call the lowest note the root, the name of the chord. Okay, and third higher here, that's gonna be third, and this one, fifth. So the name of the chord in root position is root, third, fifth. Okay, when you play third, that's gonna be root position. Okay, the really basic position of the chord. And we could change this chord to the first inversion. To play the first inversion, we need to move this C root to the next octave top here. Okay, this note to higher C, so that we could play like this: third, fifth, and root on the top. Like that. This is called first inversion. And in first inversion, you have third with first 2 notes here, and here it's interval of fourth, right? This is the shape of the first inversion. Okay, let's go on to the second inversion. From first inversion, you go to second inversion, move this E to octave higher E here. So you play like this. So fifth note is now on the bottom, and root here, and third higher, so that you can have fourth interval on the bottom and then third on the top. Okay, this is second inversion. So do you remember the cadence, right? This is 1, this is the 4 chord. This is not in the root position. This is actually the second inversion of F 4 chord, right? See? When you play F chord, this is the root position. But okay, so this was the root, but make it first inversion, this one, second inversion. So C, F, A from the bottom to top. That's right. That's second inversion of 4 chord. Okay. As we did the inversion for the major chord, we also have the inversions of dominant 7 chord. Okay, let's explain in G now. So to find the dominant chord, dominant 7, whole step down from the G. This was the root position of dominant 7. Dominant 7 chord has 4 notes. So we will have one more inversion position. Root position and move this G to top. So this is called the first inversion. Okay, just one more thing to know when we play 7th chord. There are 1 first root, 3rd, 5th, 7th note. This 1 is important because this is root. This tells which chord you're playing, right? And 3rd is important because this tells you if it's major or minor. This is really important. And the 7th note is also important because it tells you like whether it's major 7th or minor 7th as well. But you see D, that 5th is not that extremely important in this chord. So sometimes you can just omit this 5th. So if you just play 1, 3, 5, it just sounds like 5, 7. So whether you play all 4 or omit the 5th note, it's fine. So from only these 3, when you move this G to here, we only play 3 notes, even if it's 7th chord. We omit this G. This is what we were playing in cadence. So 5, 7 chord in C major, right? It's G7. So it was. So actually, this was the first inversion of 5, 7 chord. Okay, let's move on to. This was the 5, 7 chord first inversion. Let's go on to the second inversion. Move this to the top. That's the second inversion. You have D on the bottom. Okay. And the last third inversion, move this D to here. Yeah. So F, the 7th note is on the bottom now. And if you move this one to higher F here, we go back to the root position. Okay.